for, that the board is their place to kind of be that net to help you balance you, actually. So it's kind of cool that you said to your board, no, we're going to keep going forward when they told you. And I know that you have, like, you always talk about your dad and how you created things for your dad and your high respect for your mom. But do you have people who are also there, like real life mentors? I know you're a huge reader, but do you have real life mentors who you go, who maybe apart from the business, who you go to and you say, well, what do you think about that? Is that like your dad, or is that like an uncle, or do you have certain people who you go to?
I had mentors growing up, outrageously talented people that took me under their wing at a very young age. I got very lucky. I don't know if you've ever read Outliers, but it's by Malcolm Gladwell. Great book, and it talks about like the Wayne Gretzky's and just what circumstances, rather than these guys being superstars, but the fact that circumstances conspired to make them so amazing.
Right.
Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Wayne Gretzky, these true outliers, Michael Jordan, right? So I consider myself an outlier in this particular situation, that things were laid in front of me and people were there to teach me things that led me exactly, I had no choice but to be right here, literally. I would have had to be completely ignorant of opportunities and fate put in front of me by incredible women and men that gave me opportunities. I mean, I got a phone call when I was in 3rd grade. How old are you in 3rd grade? 10?
Oh my gosh, I got a phone call in 3rd grade. People were calling, giving you phone calls?
I got a phone call when I was in 3rd grade. No, from the Reverend.
Do 3rd graders even talk on the phone?
Yes, we would always answer the phone. Hello, Daikelers. And that was the rule.
That's a lost art.
And that's, you know.
It's not a text.
Now you just go, what?
Yeah.
Why aren't you texting?
Or they don't answer and they text me. What?
So I got a phone call, and it was the minister of our church. My mom had us in this church that was a very sort of modern thing. They played rock and roll music at the beginning, and it was really they called it a Sunday celebration. And they had just bought this brand new audio machine for the rock and roll they would play. And so I was 9. You're 9 or 10 in 3rd grade, right? So he gets me on the phone. His name is Gordon Trapp, and he goes, Carl, we'd like to ask you to do something. I said, what's that? We would like you to be in charge of running the sound every Sunday, which means you'll have to get to church at about 7:30, and then we'll do a rehearsal, and then we'll run through it. So at 9 years old, I'm responsible for the whole thing. Now, by the time I was in 6th grade, so I had gotten another phone call to be the head of audio engineering for the State Theater of Pennsylvania for shows that they were having in the Miss Pennsylvania Beauty Pageant at 12 years old. So I had friends who were out there, you know, slingshots and other stuff, and I got these big audio boards, paying attention, doing things. And I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying that like I had people who would just go, let that kid do it. And like I was, and again, I got really lucky that I had this, my high school, this is in 1979 when I got to high school, my school was the only school in the state of Pennsylvania that had an entire color TV studio with a professor who was trying to teach kids. Now, I've just been through all this technical stuff from the age of 9, and now here I am, 16. That place was mine. I just owned it, and so I started to create motivational videos for the state of Pennsylvania. I was 16. Yeah, so I would create a video. It was called, it was Get Involved. It was my first video. It went all the way across the state of Pennsylvania. And so...
Someone looked that up on YouTube.
Right. I bet you it's out there. It's actually not bad. It's not bad. But I was very proud of that. But like I was editing these things, like I was a kid, right? So like I had no choice, and then but I wasn't like doing the news today in North Penn High School news. It was always these things that had some deeper meaning to them. So when I graduated college, like I stepped over a bunch of stuff, like I got another phone call. I had an opportunity to build the first infomercial network. I was 21 years old, okay, and they wanted, so infomercials were just coming out, and so I got a call from a guy who said, hey, I want to put these infomercials up on the satellite and have stations run them all over the country. Would you be the guy to get the stations to do that and run that business? I was like, sure. What will my title be? He'll be like, you'll be Vice President of Infomercial Programming. I'm like, that sounds cool. So I did. I was making more money than I ever thought was possible, and these opportunities came, and the one thing I'll say about myself is I just always threw myself at it completely, and I had amazing people that were guiding me along the way. So I've had amazing mentors. But to really answer your question, right now, I can't say that I have a go-to guy, which is why personal development is actually so important to me. And part of the reason is there are very few mentors that there's a couple people that I deal with. The guy Ben Vandeman, who actually was the guy who put Tony and I together, put John and I together. He's an important mentor to me. But I find that this is going to sound funny to say, but the advice that I get now is about maximizing profitability and growth of the company. Very predictable things, and we have matured past that. For me to achieve what I want to do with this business has to go past that. And so I'm making this up, and I'm making this up with a fierce determination that we achieve the mission of help people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. And that's the kind of thing that accomplished businessmen have a hard time getting their head around. So we're making it up as I go, and I pay attention to what you guys say and what you guys ask for, and that helps guide me.
And this kind of business draws other people who are kind of entrepreneurial like that. And so I think it's interesting for the people who are in the crowd, who maybe were getting phone calls in 3rd grade, or a text in 3rd grade or something. And I think it's interesting because a lot of times people hit a ceiling because they're letting other people mentor them. And what I'm hearing you say is there came a certain level where there's you've passed that level. You were always open to mentors, and now you've passed a level where you're breaking new ground where there isn't anybody to really mentor you there.
It's a really important part of mentor system that it's kind of Karate Kid, where student becomes teacher.
Right.
And and it's kind of been sad. There are guys who were exceptional leaders to me that I saw them stop growing, and I grew past them, and I saw them think small and round corners or do things that weren't great for the customer kind of thing. And I'm like, that's not who I want to be. And I had to break away from them. And they would have their ego would have a hard time with that.
Right.
But I knew for what I wanted to achieve, which is important to have your own navigation, that what do I want to achieve, that at some point you're going to have to go, no, this is what's right for me. And a mentor does not mean boss. Mentor can be a valuable guide, but you need to be your boss. You need to have your own compass inside that drives you. And that's why personal development is so important, to keep that compass sharp, if compasses can be sharp.
And one of those things I love about you is because I've known you for a long time, almost 10 years now. Do you realize that?
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Is that it's nice to be able to say, I've sat in board meetings with you and for the coach advisory board, and had private phone calls with you. And I think it's important to know, one of the things that I really respect and love about you is you've never strayed from who you are. And you know that I had shared with you that I had done a year-long study about leaders. And very few leaders actually finish well. Because they go, as we talked about on the tour, they go from, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is me, I'm so blessed and lucky, to the next thing of, do you know who I am? To where you're just so beyond hearing anybody because don't they know who I am, and get angry, and so something blows up in their face. Typically, they mess up relationships, they fail in their integrity. And one of the things I love about you is that you're constantly reinventing yourself moving forward. Not that you're perfect, but at the same time, it's always laced with that line of integrity. And I love to see, you aren't anywhere near finishing, but I see you as one of those people who will finish well because of your...
That's a lot of pressure.
It is. Remember that. You're getting a call from
integrity, marriage number 3.
I say you're not perfect.
Right, no, that's really the point. I don't judge anybody for their desire for fame or their celebration of being the person at the front, but it actually just bores me. When my family was involved with this theater, and I got to be the sound guy and all that stuff, I was actually in one of the shows. I was in The Sound of Music, and it just was so boring.
Newspaper clipping. I said, somewhere's a newspaper clipping. I got gotta find it for car.
I've had it purged from the entire world. But it's just boring. Like, it just bored me performing. Like being, like, frankly, like, I love communicating what we do, but being at the front and all that applause and all that stuff is just, it makes me uncomfortable. What I love to do is create. And that's what I know about myself. So, you know, finishing well is about trying to finish right today. And also, I absolutely give myself the room to be human. The most important thing to me, literally the most important thing to me, is that I'm okay with myself. And everything else from that means I can be okay with you. Because I can't be okay with you until I'm okay with myself. So regardless of whether I'm ripped, which I'm not, I tried to do 30 Days of Asylum, and I did a couple things with the wrong form, and Isabel got all over me, and she's like, "You're done with this for 2 weeks." And so I wanted to come and be all ripped and super. I'm not, you know. So, but I ate right and whatever. So the point is, I got to be okay with myself. I got to do my thing, and you got to look at that the same way. You're not looking at this necessarily for the goals of everybody else. You're looking at this for the goals of you. And by the way, if you invest your effort in the importance of accepting yourself and truly forgiving yourself for not being in great shape or being a little bit unhealthy or failing in a program, that's what they call a rebound behavior. That gives you the ability to get back at it and never give up on yourself, which also then gives all the people around you the ability to get back at it themselves without feeling judged. Why do people leave Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, and all these other things? It's because they get so judged for getting off of it. That's what we don't do at Beachbody and Team Beachbody. We don't judge you because life happens. So, you know, when my ticket gets punched and I walk towards the bright light,
so dramatically, because
hopefully,
history in that.
what are you saying? I shouldn't talk about death now?
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully I will be in a cycle of existence where I ended it right. But in the meantime, I'm just going to try to do it the best way I can, and that's truthfully and with a lot of joy and supported by what I think are the most amazing people that I've ever met in the world. And I want you guys to know that I think that this business has attracted you for a very specific reason. And it's because of who you are. There are a lot of opportunities out there. I had to drag her into this. It was easy. But Tammy, not so much. Once I got her to cry, I had her. But you guys have been attracted to this. You came to Vegas for a reason, and it's because it means more to you than the kind of car you drive. It means more to you than the kind of house you live in. I'm not saying it's wrong. I think it's great to create wealth. I love creating wealth, but I think what's so magnificent about you and the reason that we are drawn together is because we want to do it by helping people and ending this trend of obesity that is killing this country. That's what's so special, and that's what gives me joy. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to live this way.